myself, yeah, I'm feeling myself. And feel like I want a champion belt. I feel like I want a champion belt. Feeling myself when I'm counting the wealth. Feeling myself when I'm counting the wealth.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's me, Shara B, mother, author, inspirational speaker of how I survived an abusive relationship and also how I succeeded while being in an abusive relationship. This is video 4. Today we're going to talk about step 1. And I did speak a little bit about it in a previous video before. So today we're going to go in a little bit more depth about it and talk more about it. And before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody that has liked and subscribed to my videos. It's been a month now and everything's been going really well. Thank you so much for the comments and everything, and viewing my video. I really appreciate it. This is a great way to get new information out to people that really need to hear it. With my content, we get a lot of scams on the internet talking about how to get rich, how to follow these programs, and how you can become rich and things like that. Well, with my video, I give you the things that you need to even become successful, because you just can't follow a program, purchase a program, follow it, and become rich just by following a program. That's just not how it works. It takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of dedication. So I'm here to talk about different ways and different things on how that works. So today we're going to talk about step 1. All right, so starting off, step 1. What I mean by your step 1, in order for you to achieve anything, in order to do anything in life, you have to have a step 1. Step 1 means that it's the beginning of a goal. So anytime you have a goal, the first thing you have to do is know how you're going to reach that goal. And in order to reach that goal, you have to have a step 1. So the best way I found that helped me and to kept me organized was to have a list of different goals that I wanted for myself, and then write down each step. And we don't know how many steps it's going to take to get to your step to your goal, but we always know it starts with the step 1. So let's say that you want to be a teacher, okay? And your goal is to become an instructor or a teacher. So a teacher and instructor is 2 different things. But we're gonna go with the teacher. You have to be specific. What type of teacher do you want to be? What do you like to teach? What's the subject that you're interested in? So before you even think about teaching, you need to know what you exactly want to teach. And I'm going to tell you guys, the issue with adults is that we really don't know what we want to do. And the reason that we don't become successful is because we don't know what we really want to do. No one really knows what they want to do for the rest of their life. That is a huge question that cannot be answered right away. And I know that when we were in kindergarten and 1st grade and things like that, that the teacher would ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we knew exactly what we wanted to be. As we got older and became adults, now it's to the point we don't know what we want to do for the rest of our life. So we end up working for somebody else and just perfecting that position. Like somebody could be a secretary for 20 years. Somebody end up being a work in a grocery store for 15 years. Or work for a transportation company. People just start working different things and working at different places, even though that's not what they wanted to be when they grew up as a child. But they just become the product of slavery pretty much. And we just need to pay our bills, and that's it. So we never think about what I want to do with myself genuinely. We stop thinking about ourselves, and we become part of, the product, and become slaves for someone else, and work out and work for their vision. And we forget about our own. So the goal to me is that, we work for different companies. We get expertise. They teach us how to do different things. And eventually the goal is to move on your own and become an entrepreneur with all of the skills that you've learned in your life to do something great. And that's the part where I'm at right now. Using all of the skills that I've ever learned and all of the positions and jobs and careers and all the stuff that I've ever done, and then putting it in these videos that I'm creating right now, giving this content so that I can prepare people that are interested in evolving or being something great, helping them become that. So, being a teacher, let's go back to that. If you want to be a teacher, you have to know exactly what subject you want to teach, who you want to teach, and what type of school you want to work in. It's all of that. So when you do your step one, the first thing you need to do is, what do you want to teach? And that's the first thing, because we need to know what we want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, you're not going to reach your goal. So the first thing is, I want to be an elementary teacher. I want to work with children in grades 2 to 6th grade. I want to work at this type of school district. I want to teach English or science. So that's when you, okay, we know what you want to do now. You planted that seed in your mind. You made the decision to be a teacher. The decision is the seed that's planted in your mind. Now we have to put forth the work. Your energy and everything that you, to become anything is energy. So just think about when you cook a meal, and it's your energy that you put into that meal that made it great. And when you don't feel like cooking, sometimes it still comes out good, but sometimes it doesn't. So when you really put your true energy in something, it's going to be great, depending on how much energy you use to make it great. So you know what you want to do. Now it's time to figure out the other thing. You have to get an education. Being a teacher requires education. It requires a degree. So then you do that. And you think about it. Do I have a lot of time? Do I have time to do this? You have to think about your life. Do you have time to go to school for 6 years, 8 years, whatever, master's, bachelor's, whatever you're doing? And then you have to know what type of school you want to go to. I'm going to tell y'all now, going to a community college is not probably the best thing for somebody that doesn't have kids, that doesn't have a life. If you are single and you're young and you just graduated from high school, I would recommend going to a D1 college. Going to a D1 college, you have the opportunity to work anywhere in the United States in your career, anything you want to do. And some of the D1 colleges here in the United States, you can work anywhere in the world graduating from those colleges. So going to a community college such as myself, I went to a community college and it wasn't accredited. So when you're not going to a school that's accredited, that's another barrier that keeps you and holds you back, because now you don't have the credentials, or some positions or careers or jobs don't feel like you meet the credentials because you didn't go to a D1 school, or you went to a community college and don't have the same experience or the same education as someone who went to a D1 or to a college, a university. So university and community colleges are totally different things. And I didn't know that when I went and got my degree. I thought college was college, and that's just what it was. And that's what I was taught. Just get a degree. It don't matter where you get it from. And actually it does. It does matter. So anytime you put an application for a very high prestigious position, they're going to go with the person with the university degree before they look at yours. And I'm just being honest. And then if you know somebody that works there, then they can get you in the door and get you help. And that's mostly how I got most of my jobs. It was because I knew somebody, or I worked as a temp and I got hired. It really wasn't because of my degree. I mean, they looked at my degree and said, "You got a degree?" And I said, "Yeah." But if I would have went there and not started out as a temp and they knew my full ability of who I was, I probably would have never got the jobs I had or the careers I had, because they didn't know me. So in order for you to get out here and be successful, it's all about referral. It's all about networking, knowing somebody. And that's how it really works. Because sometimes when you don't have certain requirements, there's no way that you're going to get into certain places. You have to have the requirements. You have to meet requirements at any job, unless you know somebody. As long as you meet the requirements, there's no reason that you wouldn't get hired, because everything's based on decision. It's the decision of the individual that is looking at your application. And it varies. There might be one person looking at your application that doesn't think you qualify. And then if you go again, then they look at it. Now they're going to say, "Oh yeah, you can, this is great." So it's the person's perception of what they think, if they feel like you're great. A lot of times, the only time that if you meet all the requirements and you don't get a job or a career, it's either because they didn't like you, they're racist, or they're jealous. And those are the only reasons. If you meet all requirements, you've done all of your work, you've worked really hard to meet everything that they're asking, there's no reason for anyone to decide for you not to be able to do something. Those are the only 3 reasons why somebody would tell you no. And like I said, it's because they don't like you, they're jealous, or they're racist. Those are the only reasons. And I'm just being honest. There were times, I mean, even though people think light-skinned people get the world and we get this, no, we don't. We're still black. We still have to go through some racism sometimes. And it's not because we're light-skinned that we don't get certain privileges. And, you know, that's another video. But light-skinned people get treated just as with racism as anybody else. So when you don't meet the certain requirements that they're looking for, then you're going to have problems. So a lot of people like to get mad. Well, I didn't get this job. Did you meet the requirements? Did you read the requirements? Did you see what they required? Were you professional? Did you dress correctly? I mean, you have to fall in line with everything in order for things to happen for you. You have to follow the rules. The whole matrix or the universe is built upon rules. And if you don't meet them, then the answer is going to be no. And that's just how it is. So what this video is all about today is talking about your step 1. In order for you to do anything, you have to have a step 1. You have to have somewhere you start. If you haven't even started, you don't even have a step 1. How did you fail? How did you not get something? If you didn't even start or get organized to say, hey, let me have a beginning. First, you got to be specific about what you want. Very specific about what you want. Just like when they talk about the genie and someone says you get 3 wishes, a lot of times the person that's wishing isn't specific. So the wish is not pretty much what they're going to get, because the genie pretty much decides on what they think that you want, especially if it's an evil genie. So you have to be very precise. You have to be very specific, because you hold power inside you. We all do. Every single person has the power to do whatever they want. And people always talk about people aren't meant to do things. No, that's not a such thing. But we've been taught that many times in whatever life, I don't know, but I was told if you're not meant, you can't do it or you can't have it. No, it's about your energy. How much time and energy are you willing to put towards whatever it is you want? That's it. It's not about meant. You have the abundance of energy. You have the power right here. It's not meant because you didn't make it happen. You didn't do it. You didn't have a step 1. You weren't specific. You didn't know what you wanted. And then you think you know what you want, and then you don't go through with it because you somewhere in your mind, you change your mind somewhere and say, you know what, this isn't going to happen. And a lot of times people change their mind because they lack confidence and security within themselves. And they say, no, this isn't for me, or maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It's because you just gave up and didn't want to put the energy into it anymore. You didn't see an outcome. You didn't see the purpose or a reason to continue doing it. You didn't get the results that you thought you were going to get, and that's why you stopped. It wasn't because anything else. You decided you were done. And when you decide, that's what it is. That's your power. See how powerful you are? When you decide you don't want to do something, you're not going to do it. When you decide you are going to do something, you're going to go do it. And some things are a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to do some things. Like if you want to go to law school, oh my God. And a test at the end, and you only get 2 times. I mean, the stuff that you have to do to get what you want, it's a lot of energy. So a lot of people just give up and say, forget it. So it's not that no one's meant. It's just everyone's not going to use the energy to do it. That's the difference between the people that succeed and the people that don't. People that succeed kept going full throttle. They had the confidence. They had the security. They continued and they believed in themselves enough and said, this is going to work and I'm going to make it work. No matter what, I'm going to make this work. And then you have some people that just say, you know what, this isn't doing what I want. Even though I've only been doing it for 2 weeks, but it's not doing what I want, so I'm giving up. You can't give up. When you give up, that's your power. You decided, I don't want to do it anymore, and you're not. See what I'm saying? That's all it is. Your decision. And I'm going to have a whole nother video on the power of decision. But You control whatever it is you want to do. Inside your body is this great light of energy, this great ball of success, and you can do whatever you want with it. Some people are disciplined to use it correctly and some people aren't. Everybody has the power. Nobody can say, I don't have the power. You have the power. If you can go to the store and buy a candy bar, you decided you wanted that candy bar and you ate it. That was your decision. So you can do whatever else you want. But guess what? Buying a candy bar isn't a lot of energy. It's a lot easier, isn't it? So things that are easy, like these get-rich-quick schemes, buying somebody's program, looking in their perception of how to do something, is easier than trying to figure it out for yourself. It's easier to go buy their program and think they have all the answers instead of just Googling it. Google it. No, we're not going to go Google it because we don't want to do it for ourselves. We want somebody else to do it. And that's always what it's always been. We live in a society where people think that somebody else is supposed to do it. It's somebody else's fault if we don't have certain things. It's somebody else's fault that they're in certain situations, and it's not. It's your fault because you didn't use the energy or the power that you have in yourself to do whatever it is you wanted to do. And people can probably tell me, well, it's not that simple. It is. If you're in a shelter home, and I've been there. I've been in a shelter home. You can get out of the shelter. I'm proof. And be successful. It's possible, but it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of your energy, and you have to believe in yourself to know, I want out of here and I'm going to make it happen. You write your step 1 down and you get whatever the hell you want to get. And that's just easy as pie. We have been trained and taught so differently, but the universe just allows us to. We don't talk about the universe at school. The universe has given us power to do whatever it is we want to do. And people say, well, that's not fair. So-and-so has something, or that's not fair. Somebody, okay. It's just that person worked and used their energy, found a way to do it, looked it up, talked to folks, networked, did the work, did the homework, was down and out, nights not getting sleep, and they figured it out and they got what they wanted. Now, if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to get it. So don't be upset when you see all these successful people around you. It's because they just put in energy and said, I want something, and they did it. A lot of people just give up at step 1 or don't even start step 1. Or they get frustrated at step 1 because step 1's not working out. Get a degree. Okay. You know how long that takes to get a degree? If you want associates, if you want a bachelor's, if you want a master's, you know how long that takes? If you don't have the energy to do it, you're not going to finish school. You have to have a reason why it's important to you to finish school. And if you want to be a teacher so bad, then be a teacher and finish whatever it is that you need to do. And write down all the steps that it takes. And before you even get into anything, write everything down. Even if you want to say, I want to be a mom, write everything down. Look at all the work that you have to go through. And then tell yourself, do I feel like doing that? Then you'll stay out of certain situations. Then you won't make certain mistakes because you didn't wrote down everything it took to do something. And now you're going to change your mind because you don't have enough energy to do it. Or you don't feel like it. That's it. And that's why we talk about the lazies. They just don't feel like it. So if they can sit on somebody's couch, that's what they're going to do. But this video is about the step 1. Make sure that you write down the step 1 if you want to succeed in anything. You cannot fail if you did not try step 1 first. Step 1 is the most important step in your life. Because usually after you complete step 1, you go to step 2, 3, and 4 because you've seen that since step 1 was successful. And if step 1 is not successful, then maybe you need to find something else to do or figure out something else that you're willing to put your energy in and that you're willing to put your time in, that it's worth it. All right. Well, that's all I have today. My name is Shara B. Everybody start writing down your step 1. Get your step 1 together. And I'm out. And I'll see you in another video. Peace on out. Take care. Love you guys. And thank you so much for subscribing and coming on my channel, getting this information. Bye.